They say that that is the worst dirt bike in history, and I reckon that this is the greatest dirt bike I've ever ridden. So naturally, we thought it'd be interesting to put the two head to head in a lap time challenge. The Cannondale MX400 is one of the most infamous and notorious dirt bikes of all time. Cannondale became famous as a mountain bike company in the 90s and were obsessed with innovation. As the four-stroke era dawned in the MX world, Cannondale decided to join the party and started work on this ultra-modern, revolutionary machine. But they seemingly bit off more than they could chew. The MX400 was plagued with problems and gained a reputation as an unreliable beast. Eventually, this dirt bike side project, which cost $80 million, bankrupted the entire company. And that's why the Cannondale is regarded as the biggest failure in MX history. This is our special build YZ500 two-stroke. Using the awesome BRC Racing YZM500 conversion kit, we turned a brand new 2022 YZ250 into this big bore beast. It rides, handles and stops like a modern YZ250, but it has the arm stretching power to rival any CR500. I absolutely love it, and in my opinion it's probably the best bike I've ever ridden. But don't just take my word for it. Everyone that's had a spin so far has fallen in love with the YZilla YZ500. Nev, just tell the camera what you just told me and Dan.
That's probably the best bike I've ever ridden. Like, I did 3 or 4 corners on it and mind blowing, dude.
So I'm on board the YZilla YZ500, which is our BRC special build 500. Now I don't want to be too over the top, too big-headed and say that this is the greatest dirt bike ever made. All I'm saying is, it might well be the best dirt bike that I've personally ever ridden. So we thought it would be super interesting. Oh, that power, man, that bark. We thought it'd be super interesting to see how this bike, one came in as the best bike I've ever ridden, how this compares to the Cannondale MX400, which quite a few people say might well be the worst dirt bike ever ridden. So that's the plan today. So before we get the stopwatch out, let's just compare the two bikes and how they actually feel on track. Firstly, let's talk about power and power delivery. This is where the biggest difference can be felt. The MX400 feels slow, very slow, especially compared to the 500 Smoker. The Cannondale definitely feels sluggish and lazy out of the corners and down the straights. It is very confidence inspiring, but that's not such a great attribute to have in a head-to-head race like this. I have been told that I could probably get a bit more out of the Cannondale if I rev it harder, but there's just absolutely no comparing it to the wild animal that is the YZilla. That thing is so fast. You can't help but smile and fight back the terror. That power is obviously so fun to have, but it could easily catch you out if you're not careful. In terms of horsepower, the Cannondale was reported as having 43 ponies back in the day, but some people have said that they've got 45 horsepower out of a good MX400, whereas with our current setup with the Huger pipe on the YZilla, we've logged our machine at 55 horsepower on our dyno. This straight line speed is certainly going to be the main separator between the two. In terms of handling, I actually really enjoyed riding the Cannondale. I felt so assured and confident in the corners. You can put it wherever you want and squirt on that completely usable power. The plush seat is super comfortable and the low centre of gravity makes cornering so much fun. The YZilla, on the other hand, is a little more difficult to tame. The YAMAHA chassis is great. I've always been a big fan of the YZ's handling attributes. But the simple fact that we've got so much power at our disposal here makes cornering a lot more difficult for a regular rider like me. A slight blip of the throttle can lead to an easy mistake in the turns. I do think in the hands of a pro like my friend Neville Bradshaw, this wouldn't be an issue at all. But I'm a mere mortal, only just getting started in my big bore adventures. I'm still a little tentative on board the big girl, whereas I felt that I could truly ride the wheels off the Cannondale. It almost hurts me to say, but I actually felt more confident in the corners on the MX400. It has to be said though that the brakes on the MX400 didn't stack up at all against the Moto Master stuff we've got on the YZilla. The 500 stopped on a dime, whereas I found that the Cannondale took a bit of effort to slow down once I eventually got it up to speed. I did feel that the engine braking on the MX400 was really severe as well, which obviously isn't something we have to worry about on the two-stroke. As soon as I let off the gas on the MX400, it felt like an anchor had been dropped. If you weren't on the power, you were slowing down big time. One last note before we hit the dirt for the hot laps. I feel like the track itself here at Greenfields was probably better suited to the MX400. The dirt was perfect for the 500 and provided plenty of grip to let the big girl eat. But half of the lap is kind of tight and twisty, which I do think favours the American machine, and there's only really one long straight where the YZilla can stretch her legs and make use of all of those ponies. But I think it's time to stop speculating. Let's get the stopwatch out and twist those grips. The YZilla YZ500 is up first. So absolutely on the gas on board the YZilla down there. That's the fastest section of the track. This end of the track is more favourable to the 500 for sure. It's a bit loamier, a bit deeper. The straights are a bit longer. This thing is my absolute pride and joy. I love this bike and I'm always going to make sure that it's insured. This video has been supported by our awesome friends at B-Moto, and for our UK followers they have some great insurance products. You may not realise it, but you can actually insure your dirt bikes even if they're not registered with a V5. If you keep your dirt bike in a properly secured, locked building, then check out B-Moto Dirt Bike Theft Insurance. It's designed for bikes not used on the road and provides fire and theft cover for stolen or unregistered bikes at home or in transit. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and you want to keep your pride and joy safe and insured, be sure to check out B-Moto. I'll put a link in the description down below. Every click there helps out the channel and helps us make more videos just like this one. Once again, a big thank you goes to B-Moto for supporting what we do. Now let's get back to the action. This side of the circuit is a little more tight and twisty. There's not much space to really open up the big girl here. Track here at Greenfield in absolutely prime condition for this hot lap showdown between the YZilla and the Cannondale MX400. Okay, we're on the home straight now. This is where the YZilla can really open it up over the two tabletops. Lads, on the gas and across the line. So there we go. That's the YZilla YZ500 hot lap complete. Take a close look at this next one. The Cannondale is up next. Watch closely and let me know your guesses in the comments below. What is the difference between the lap times going to be? The clock is on for the Cannondale MX400 then. Into the big sweeper at the end of the long start-finish straight. These two corners I felt so comfortable on the Cannondale, could really just lean it over and use all the power at my disposal. A little harder getting through the whoop section on the Cannondale, really had to work it. I was so surprised at how comfortable and confident I did feel on board this bike, which was trashed in the magazines back in the day, but that was mainly due to its unreliable nature. Guy Redshaw, who owns this particular bike, has managed to get this MX400 running flawlessly at the moment. We didn't have any of those reliability issues on the day. over halfway through the lap now. I'm throwing everything at this lap. There was no difference in effort levels on board the two bikes. Two corners left then. Get through here, and then we've got the long straight, the two tabletops. This might be the difference maker. So we head towards the finish line, charge towards the finish line. Here we go. And across the line. On board the Cannondale MX400. Let me know what you think, guys. Drop down into the comments down below. What is the difference going to be between these two bikes? Before I meet up with Guy Redshaw, who owns this Cannondale, to reveal the results, I just need to say a big thank you to the guys that make this all possible. Videos just like this Cannondale feature are made possible by our awesome sponsors, Pewterline. Pewterline have products to lubricate, clean and protect your bikes. If you head over to the Pewterline website, type in your bike model into the search bar, all the products that you need for your machine will pop up right there. We use MX9 two-stroke oil in the YZilla and all of our two-stroke machines. As always, a big thank you goes to Pewterline for supporting what we do. Okay, so it's the moment of truth then in this little showdown we're doing. So I've just come fresh off my 2 hot laps, literally back to back. What do you reckon, Guy? How did I look out there on each bike?
You look more stylish on the Cannondale.
Goes without saying.
Style is fast.
Goes without saying. So on the Yamaha then, my fastest lap time, I'm quite happy with this, a 1:38.97 on the YZilla. And that all of this data is coming from the cross-box data logger that we've got on top of my helmet there. So we've got lap times, we're going to have top speeds and everything to dive into. So fastest lap time on the Yamaha, 1:38.97. Scrolling to the right for the Cannondale. This is the moment of truth. I'm a little bit nervous because I actually did really enjoy the Cannondale. I felt comfortable on it. It's just if it's got the ponies down those long straights, that might be his only downfall. And the fastest time on the Cannondale, a 1:39.9. So it's like 1 second in it between the best bike ever made and the worst bike ever made. And I think we can officially say this is not the worst bike ever made. No. It's actually a really good machine, a fun bike to ride, an easy bike to ride. If I had a few more ponies, it'd be a weapon out there on track. So, were you surprised at those results? As we predicted, the main difference came in the top speed. The crossbox data tells us that I had a top speed of 99.2 kilometers per hour on the YZilla and a top speed of 89 kilometers per hour on the Cannondale. Like we predicted, that was the main difference maker. Guy, I just want to say thanks for letting us ride your beast today. What a weapon, what a machine. A genuine piece of motocross history you've got there. We reckon there's maybe 1 or 2 in the country, not many left in the world. So thank you so much for letting us have a ride. Welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great.
As always, my name is Max. Thanks once again to Guy. Until next time, we'll see you at the track. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe to 999 Laser and let me know what bikes you want us to feature next.